All right, and welcome into the next edition of the Vegas Squares podcast. We are happy you are listening. I got Anthony in the studio, and we are going to talk lots of stuff today. We got Wild Card Weekend that's coming up, and we may have two national champions in college football, depending on who you ask.
To me, it's still only one, and you know which one I'm going to choose.
I don't know. Georgia Bulldogs?
No.
You going with the UCF Knights?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't lose a game, if you never lose a game on your schedule, how can you tell me you're not champion? So that's why they play the games on the field, and they played every game on the field, and they won them all. So we do have a wild show going on. No Spike today. That chair is empty, so we will turn the mic down on that one. And what are your thoughts? I mean, we've got an interesting wild card weekend. To me, I don't know. No real game jumps out on the picture, on the screen like, oh my God, I must see this.
Not really to me. The biggest game on the slate this weekend to me is probably the Panthers Saints.
Yeah, I mean it's the age old adage of playing a team for the third time. Yeah. How does that matchup look? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to get the crack research staff on it right now, but I believe New Orleans has won both the games.
They have, yes.
So they're 2-0. I mean, to beat a team three times, they're going to get the advantage of being at home. I think New Orleans is a scary team. I mean,
I think they have the perfect pitcher to run the NFC, in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think, what could happen, with that team, with the two-headed monster, but we'll talk about the games each individually. We'll dissect them, break them down, give our picks, what you want to go to the window with, and what we're thinking about placing some money on here this weekend. Overall, let's start with, I guess, the story of the week in NFL, and that's the Tom Brady-Bill Belichick feud. And I use my air quotes, which aren't good for podcasts, but I'm going to use my air quotes as the feud. Look, for 18 years now, we've been... we've had the Belichick and Brady system here, and there are no distractions in New England. Let's call it what it is. Every time there's ever something coming out of that, Belichick's pretty quick to shut the door on it. This is the first time I've really seen the media just run with it other than Deflategate. Is there anything to this?
I don't think so. I think they're kind of using it for publicity, and I don't think in the next year or two something will happen out of this, but maybe granted 3 to 5 years down the road.
Yeah, 3 to 5 years down the road, that's an easy out. That's an easy exit on the express lane. Brady's 45 years old at that point. Well, yeah, okay, now we can, use this situation. Okay, so as a media guy, a guy who writes for the Times or the Boston Globe, going to hold on to this and in 2023 be like, yeah, look, I told you it's the beginning of the end 5 years ago. What are you going to want to do about it, I don't know. I don't know. Was that a good Boston accent?
That was pretty good.
I never developed a Boston accent, but I don't know. You can see Dan Shag Hennessy coming out and be like, yeah. I told you guys 5 years ago it was going to be Brady, Belichick. Someone's got to go. Kraft's got to make a decision.
Well,
I don't know.
Eventually he's got to be on.
We got to get Spike for the Boston accent. He's got that little kick of the Boston accent. Well, I never developed it, but when I'm drunk, it comes out a little bit.
Does it?
Yeah, but to me, it's a non-issue, and I think at this point in time, I was kind of chatting with some guys on Twitter and, a little friendly banter. Again, air quotes on friendly. But Twitter's my favorite because I just talk so much shit on Twitter. I just go after it.
You tweet it up.
I did. This one chick was giving some shit about UCF, declaring their national championship and hanging banners. And I was just like, it's time for this broad to shut her hole. And, oh, my God, she was so offended. I wish I remembered her name. She was an SB Nation reporter, but I was like, get back in the kitchen, sweetheart. I know I was being super, sexist.
Whoever wins the, unquote, national championship game should play UCF.
Oh, yeah, sure, why not? You know what? What's one more game at that point? Fucking let's play. Enjoy your consolation game Monday. Well, anyways, my point being is I was chatting with some guys on Twitter, and, they're like, oh, this could be the downfall of Belichick and Brady. But I'm like, even if it is an issue, this shit's not going to get handled until after the season. I mean, Brady has got eyes on another ring. And don't get me wrong. I mean, Vegas has got them up as the favorites. And rightfully so. They should be the favorites. I mean, they got home field advantage. They've got the MVP. They've got a strong running game, good receivers, a bend but don't break defense. They're the most complete team. Obviously, I think a couple teams can put the fear into them, even at home. So we'll see about that. But
I still like their chances by far.
Somebody's got to open up as the favorite. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they are they are 225 as a favorite to win the Super Bowl. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I have to check.
I think it might be even lower. Let me double check.
They are 225 on Vegas Insiders at this moment, as we record. To win, minus 225. That's a pretty heavy favorite as far as futures goes, because you still have 12 teams left in the playoffs at this point.
Plus 180 on William Hill.
Okay, what did I read something wrong? Look at this again. Futures. What did I miss here?
They might have more action on it.
Oh, excuse me, plus 225. Plus 225. I don't know why I said minus. I read it wrong. Plus 225. So, yeah, that's...
I thought you said plus.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Plus 225 to win. The next closest is 4.5 to 1 with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, William Hill, they're 4 to 1, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, looking at that, I mean, they are a prohibitive favorite because somebody's got to be, and they do have, I mean, in my opinion, the most complete team.
Well, rightly so. Those teams are 2 against the spread this year.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to take your money at this point on a futures bet, I mean, do you play the odds with the Patriots at basically 2 to 1 on your money, or is there another team out there that
based on the value, what I saw, and if they're still at the same, it's the Saints to me.
The Saints here are 10 to 1 odds. They share the same odds, according to Vegas Insider, with Philly, New Orleans, L.A., and Kansas City. Philly, New Orleans, and L.A. Kansas City is 12 to 1.
On William Hill, they are at 7 to 1, so it dropped significantly. It was 11 to 1 last I saw, which was 2 days ago.
Got it. Yeah, these are offshore futures odds.
Yeah.
Vegas Insider is a quick reference I like. But yeah, okay, so 7 to 10 to 1. There's still value there, and it's not really a hedging ability, which is okay. I like Jacksonville at 20 to 1 to get some hedging ability in like the AFC title game should they get there. Because I mean, let's face it, they're the number 3 seed. So if they beat Buffalo, or when they beat Buffalo, however you want to call it, they are going to play Pittsburgh, and they've beaten Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
So, they do have a good road to New England, if New England should get there. The issue that scares me, if this is to occur, I mean, Kansas City has proven they have beaten New England in New England. The question is can Belichick adapt when he's had 17 weeks to prepare for that game? So, I mean, I'm not saying that New England's going down, but I'm also not saying that New England, let's just hand them the trophy right now.
No, it's up for grabs, I would say, for about 4 or 5 teams altogether.
Yeah, so let's dive into these games that we can talk about kind of going forward. The first game on the docket will be Tennessee and Kansas City. That's on Saturday. Depending on when you're listening, that will be today. It's Kansas City is laying 6.5 is the consensus across the board. 44.5 is the total. KC started out hot. They were 5-0. We all know the story, and they went Would they go 4-7 the rest of the way?
Yes.
I don't know which side of that streaks to believe. So, I mean, if you look at the trends, playoff success is not in either of these teams' playbooks, Kansas City or Tennessee. But one of them is going to win. So the Chiefs have probably the best home field advantage of any team this weekend.
I would say so.
Yeah.
It's tough to play in Arrowhead and
obviously we know
sneak out with a W, especially come playoff time.
Yeah, obviously we know DeMarco Murray's out.
Yes.
And I think that the line is moving because of his absence from the game. And I'm not sure if that fools me, because DeMarco Murray, while he's a factor back, they have another back in Derrick Henry who can control the game from the line of scrimmage. And this game's going to be on Mariota. And this is the game where Mariota, I mean, he's finally led his team to the playoffs. They're 5-1 in the last 6 road games straight up. Or 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 road games. So, you look at the 6.5, or excuse me, 8.5. Is it 8.5?
8.5 is what I have.
Yeah, am I reading that? Oh, excuse me. Man,
Wrong game.
I need to clean this screen, dude. It's got fucking fuzzies everywhere. 8.5, excuse me, is the VI consensus. 8.5 points. You look at that, and I think that number may rise. So if you're feeling Tennessee, my gut says to hold on until early morning tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or close to it and see where it goes. I think I still feel comfortable if I get it at 7.5 as well. So I'm going to basically I'm gonna hold off till close to game time, and I'm gonna take Tennessee with that kind of pointage.
I'm leaning towards the same way. I think they will lose the game, but I think it will be closer than people will think. I think it will be about a field goal kind of game, whether it is the end of regulation field goal to win it outright or maybe in overtime.
I don't really like the total because I feel like this could be a defensive struggle, or I feel like both teams could, like you said, 27-24-ish kind of range. So, yeah, give me the points with Tennessee in that point, and I'll feel pretty good anywhere between 7.5 and 9. It could close up to 9.5. You know, the Wind's got it at 9 right now, so they could get pushed up to double digits. And I would feel a bet coming on Tennessee at any one of those numbers. I'd feel pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I'm towards the same way. I have Kansas City winning 24-21 in this.
All right, we'll take a look at the primetime game on Saturday, and you have Atlanta and the Rams. So it's in L.A. Consensus right now is 6 across the board. Atlanta's not a good team, if you ask a lot of the pundits. You know, they've got that Super Bowl hangover, but hey, they're in the second season at this point, and all bets are off when it comes to that. I mean, Atlanta has seemed to fare better on the road. So that's where I kind of look at the statistics, and the statistics kind of favor Atlanta in this, even though, you know, obviously everybody's on cloud 9 with Todd Gurley, Jared Goff, McVay, etc. You know, what are your thoughts on this game? Just matchups and kind of X factors. What do you think?
In my mind, I mean, if you look at the regular season stats against the spread, Atlanta was towards the bottom at 7-9 against the spread this year. I have the Rams at one of the better ones at 9-7. So the trends are leaning towards the Rams against the spread. I actually like the Rams in this matchup, even minus the 6.
You think they're just too much at this point?
I think it's too much, even with Atlanta's defense. The only way I could see Atlanta covering in this game is if it's a very low-scoring game, like a 17-14 or...
Yeah, but let's face it, these two teams don't play enough defense to warrant that. You're right. I mean, the total in the game is 48. That's a tough total to go with. I'm going to lean with the over in this one. I think it's another like 30-24 kind of game.
I'm leaning towards the over. I'm thinking 30-21.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the over is probably going to be in a situation where both teams score a lot and have the ability to score a lot, and their defenses don't really have the greatest capability. I mean, the front four in St. Louis is great. Aaron Donald's great, but I mean, Matt Ryan's going to be throwing a lot in this game. So I look for the over to hit for the 48. I don't know. It's tough. I mean, Atlanta is such a streaky team. I mean, they were, 10-6 this year?
Yeah.
I mean, that's for all this Super Bowl hangover talk, that's still a pretty good record. If I'm not mistaken, they were 12-4 last year?
I believe that is correct, yeah.
So if they're 12-4 last year, 10-6, while it's a drop off, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily like the worst situation.
11-5.
11-5. So they were drop off of one game. So I mean, to all this talk about Super Bowl hangover, yeah, they didn't look great in some spots, but
they got the job done and slid into the playoffs.
The thing that scares me is the Rams can just turn it on you, and if you don't kind of stay with them, they just flip a switch and go.
Yeah, they're a mile in front of you if they get that out.
I mean, it's hard. You really, when you look at, against the spread, you want to look at what favors you, and that's experience in the playoffs. And Atlanta's got experience. I mean, Matt Ryan's been to the playoffs a lot more than Jared Goff. Atlanta has a lot more playoff experience overall as a team than anybody really on the Rams that I can think of.
Without a doubt, yeah, I would say so.
So, I mean, it really, during the playoffs, I want to lead towards the experience and the ability to navigate. Atlanta last year was at home for all their playoff games. Now they're going to have to go on the road. So, I can see the Rams. I see the Rams winning this game, but I still think
Atlanta covers.
I still think Atlanta covers and this game goes over. So I'm going to take the Falcons with the 6, and I am going to take an over, but I'm not going to bet the over. I'll take the 6 points.
Okay. Yeah, I like the over in that spot. I wouldn't touch either. My prediction was 30-21.
All right, let's look at the next game. That'll be on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Buffalo taking on Jacksonville. And we're going to see Blake Bortles start. And if I'm not mistaken, Blake Bortles and Tyrod Taylor both start their first playoff games.
Pretty impressive. Two teams starting quarterbacks first start ever in the playoff game meet up against each other.
I mean, Buffalo had to have a wing and a prayer and a miracle and a half court shot, blindfolded, turned around the other way to get into the playoffs.
And they made it happen.
And it happened. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, it's not as extreme as Tampa needed last year to sneak in, but it was 6 things that had to go right for them to get in?
Yeah, something like that. They had a bunch of different, scenarios to get in there. Well, we got Buffalo and Jacksonville. Like I said, Tyrod Taylor versus Blake Bortles in a matchup of particularly average quarterbacks over the course of their careers. So I don't know what steps out as far as who's going to be the X factors in this game.
To me, it is going to be.
Oh well, I guess I should start with the line is consensus 9, and 39.5 is the total.
Okay, yeah, it's about the same on here. I have 8.5 and 39. So, I think Jacksonville just kind of runs away with this. In my mind, they easily cover. They win by 2 scores. But I like the under in this. I think it's going to be 24-10.
That's a fair assessment. I mean, there's no shady in this game, so that's a huge blow. I mean, Tyrod's already kind of in a pickle. He's not very good to begin with, and now he's got no who's their back? Mike Tolbert?
I think so, yeah.
So now he has no real threat to the run game against the defense who was number 1 in the NFL. I mean, they were the best against the pass, and they were pretty damn good against the run.
Yeah. I think this game will come down to rushing on 3rd and shorts scenarios to move the ball and move the chain. So,
yeah, I mean, Blake Bortles in a contract year. I think the Bills will move on from Tyrod, so he may try to have a good game. I just don't think it's enough against this team. So I'm going to give the nod to Blake Bortles, and that's not really just me being a homer. I think the magic potion will stay inside Bortles for one more week. I'd like to see him go into Pittsburgh next week and beat them too, but let's take it one game at a time. The Bills don't give up a lot of touchdowns to quarterbacks. They only given up more than 1 touchdown in a game 3 times to opposing quarterbacks. No quarterbacks thrown for more than 275 yards since week 8. So, I mean, as much as I like Bortles, does that really make it lean more on Fournette at this point?
I think that's what they need to have happen to cover and potentially win. I mean, I think Fournette will rush for over 100 yards, get a touchdown. Bortles will get 1, maybe 2 touchdowns. I could see a defensive touchdown in this game by either team. Yeah,
that's a defensive or special team like kick return or punt return. The Jags are known for those little tricky plays, but Bortles has got a few weapons. Westbrook and Cole. A lot of the rest of his guys are injured. Kelvin Benjamin's going to play through a torn MCL. God, that's just, to me, I don't know. Is it really worth the gamble? I don't know.
I could see in this game a fluke kind of game-ending play to affect this spread in this.
Actually, I was thinking that myself. You like the under. I think the total's going to fall right around 40 points. I can see 28-13 and just fuck people. Like pick 6. It's going to be 21-13. Bills are driving, and A.J. Bouye with the pick six to make it 28-13 and just tip it right over the 40 or 39.
That'd be disgusting.
Yeah, so, I mean, to me, I always hate these totals in the 30s. It's just, blah, it's like, the two teams suck, but do they suck enough that they're going to give up points? I mean, we're talking about playoff teams. They don't suck. I'm just specifically talking about the totals.
Almost if they're the Lions.
I'm talking about the totals in the 30s, not specifically these two teams. It's like, okay, two teams with, mildly good offenses, pretty good defenses, but yet are the mildly good offenses maybe going to have the game of their life against these defenses and push it just like, 21-20 and it's just a fuck you. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's just a weird thing to me. It's kind of like, those totals are always hard. I really prefer the totals that are in the 50s more because, I don't know, man, I'm an unders guy. I prefer the under.
Yeah, me too.
You ever watch a game and you have the under and kind of sit there and be like, fuck this shit up, drop that ball, fumble.
Yeah. Fumble.
Fumble, then fumble again, and then incomplete passes, but keep the clock running. I don't know. That's kind of my style of watching football when I have the under.
Get sacked.
Suck really bad.
Get sacked.
Really
Sack
bad.
Sack him.
Yeah.
What's the forecast like in Jacksonville this weekend? Is it supposed to snow on Sunday afternoon?
Really?
I heard it might. So
snow?
It might. I know it's supposed to dip into the 30s. That's a little warmer than I thought.
It says 56, so I don't know. We'll precipitation. Let's look at it since you're making me pull up the fucking Weather Channel here. Oh, God. 10-day forecast. Here, I'll tell you what. I'll give you all the way until next fucking Sunday. Here you go.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. It is 49 degrees right now in Jacksonville. Sunday says mostly cloudy, 56, 10% chance of rain. Nah, I think you're good. In for a little bit of a chilly game, which favors Buffalo, but I think these guys are professionals.
I don't think that affects them too much.
Yeah, I think the Jaguars is the pick. And the Bills can relish in their 1 week of playoff football in the last 18 years. So this game, like you said, I don't think it'll ever be really close. I think the score will probably be around 28-13 Jaguars cover and the over.
Yeah, like I said, 24-10 is my pick for this. With kind of a backdoor cover.
You like it in the back door, don't you?
That's what she said.
So she asked you if you like it in the back door?
No, I don't like it in the back door.
Yeah, you do. It's okay, man. There's nothing wrong with it, bro. We don't judge people here. To each his own. If you want to be gay, we'll march in your parade. I don't care. That's fine.
Speaking of parades.
Speaking of parades, let's go down to New Orleans. Yeah, nice segue. New Orleans is laying a touchdown consensus. 48.5 is the total. This is, like you said, this is the game of the week, I guess you could say. It's tough, like I said, to beat a team 3 times. But that two-headed monster is just is really sick with Mark Ingram and Kamara, and they've got Michael Thomas on the outside. Willie Snead's back, although he's not really a huge factor. He can still be a guy that you have to game plan for. And then you got Drew Brees. And to me, honestly, other than the statistical anomaly that was 2015, Cam Newton's just an average quarterback, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, what do you look for in this game as far as going to be the X factor? I think, realistically, penalties and turnovers are the X factor right here because, it's going to be loud.
I think it'll be
very loud.
I think it'll be New Orleans defense, how hyped up they can be, and I'm sure at home it's going to be overwhelming for the Panthers to overcome that. So I'm leaning towards Saints in a blowout.
Wow.
I'm going to say 28-10.
Saints in a blowout. There's going to be a blowout here. There always seems to be. I mean, last year, like
it could even be worse, but I'm putting in a mild blowout.
So 28-10 is a blowout in your mind at this point in a playoff game. Don't get me wrong.
It's 3 scores, yeah.
Since '96, teams favored by 7 points or more in the wild card round are 15-2 straight up, and 14-2 against the spread, or 14-3 against the spread. So, I mean, that means something, especially if that number drops more toward Carolina. A lot of people like Carolina in this spot. I just don't think they have the weapons. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Stewart. Honestly, I don't even know who their receivers are, dude. I really don't, after the injuries that they've had. I have no idea who the receivers are. I would have to look up this team's receivers, and I don't really feel like doing that right now. So let's see. I mean, we got some trends here.
Funches was their.
But he's hurt, right?
No, I don't see him on the.
Okay, so yeah, you still have what's his first name?
Devin or
Toe Funches? Devin Funches. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Couple little trends for you. Every Saints home playoff game since 1980 has gone over, but that's only 8. And
it says he's questionable.
It says that, I mean, that's only 8 overs in 40 years. So that's not great. Drew Brees, 12 touchdowns, 1 interception in 5 career home playoff games. Panthers are 0-5-1 against the spread, last 6 against the Saints, so that's not really good news for the Panthers backers. Last 5 home games, Saints are 5-0 straight up, 4-1 against the spread. 6-2 against the spread are the Saints against their last 8 games against divisional opponents. But last 10 games on the road, Panthers are 7-3 against the spread, 11-3 straight up in the last 14 on the road. So there's a lot of trends in this game. Something's got to give. You're saying 28-10. You're going to say it's a blowout. I think because these teams know each other so well, and it's not a situation where you're looking at Carolina. I mean, Carolina plays this team twice every year. It's really hard to trust Cam Newton. And I think that's why I lean the Saints as well. It's just I don't think it's a blowout, like you say. But I mean, like you're saying, an 18-point game. I still think the Saints can cover this spread because I think the home field advantage is really going to be what puts them over the top. Let's see. Let's check out the other 2 games. At home, they got crushed by New Orleans, 34-13, and then on the road, they lost by 10. I think looking at that, I mean, that obviously tells you that the Saints just have their number and have their number by a lot. I'm going to say in a playoff game, Ron Rivera, Cam Newton keep it close. I'm going to say, let's see what the total is. I'm going to say we go, I'm going to take an under, but I'm going to say it's like 24-19 in that area. Like a 5. I think it's.
So you're saying the Panthers cover?
I think Panthers cover. New Orleans moves on. I'm going to say 24-19, 25-20. Kind of a weird score, but it stays under the 48 total in that point. In my book.
Yeah, I like the under in this spot as well.
All right, if you got 28-10, yeah.
Yeah, I think 48's a little too high for considering they're both quote unquote power strong offensives. That's why I look forward towards the New Orleans defense in this matchup. And I think they'll create a big turnover in this game to set up a nice kind of game-clinching drive with about 5 minutes left in the game.
All right, well, let's recap. We got what do we got?
Tennessee Chiefs.
Yeah, I have Tennessee. We both have Tennessee in that game. So, are you going to go to the window with that pick?
I might tease in a parlay.
Okay, so you can put it in a teaser. I think Atlanta and the Rams. You took LA, I took Atlanta.
Yes.
Buffalo and Jacksonville. I think we're both on the same side with that. Jacksonville.
Yeah, the teaser I would do was Jags and Titans.
Carolina, New Orleans. You're on the Saints. I'm on the Panthers. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going William Hill here with the patented 14-point 4-team teaser for minus 200 odds. I'm going Tennessee with 22.5. Give me Atlanta with 20.5. Give me Jacksonville as a dog of 6 points. And give me Carolina a 3-touchdown dog. I think that's what I'm going with.
Oh.
I think I can fade the blowouts in that spot.
Yeah.
Because I think the blowout's going to come in Jacksonville. And I really think LA could blow them out. I don't know. Atlanta,
I don't think there'll be almost a 3-touchdown game. I could see like a 16 kind of.
I could see them getting beat by 17 points. But LA's got the firepower. That's the one that scares me. But I'm still going to take 20 points in a playoff game.
I'd still do it. Sounds reasonable.
So that's my pick. I'm going to go 4-team teaser. Tennessee 22.5. Atlanta 20, Jacksonville plus 6.5, and Carolina plus 21. So I'm getting 3 teams basically with 3 possessions.
That's sick.
It's guaranteed money out the window.
Unless if you're taking Lions.
Yeah. You keep saying the Lions, but they're not fucking in the playoffs, bro. Just calm your shit. You guys need to worry about what you're going to do to replace Caldwell. What are you going to do? Go get Jim? I was going to say Jim Caldwell, Jim Schwartz back.
Hopefully not.
Could you see them doing that? Could you see that? That's a Lions thing to do.
I could easily see them doing it. I'm sweating that.
Now
out.
they fired Jim Schwartz and hired Jim Caldwell, right? Or was there a coach in between?
I believe there was a coach in between.
Who? I think it was Jim Caldwell. They fired Schwartz 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I got to be right about this. I think they fired Schwartz, replaced him with Caldwell. I would not be shocked if they brought back Jim Schwartz. Come on, tell me I'm right. Yep, Jim Schwartz till 2013 and Jim Caldwell for the last 4. Please bring back Jim Schwartz. I'm going to start a campaign on Twitter. Detroit, you suck so bad. Please bring back Jim Schwartz. Oh, God, that would be fantastic. They're probably going to go after Josh McDaniels, but still, I just want to see him entertain the offer.
I have a feeling it's going to happen.
Oh, man, that would be fantastic. So, you have anything else you think about these playoffs, like what you're going to do? It's come betting time. I mean, this stuff could all change. I mean, obviously, things can go. Things can start moving. There's only 4 games to bet on this weekend, so things could start moving at the window real fast. Is there any game that you would? Is there any scenario or spread that if it moved one way or the other, you would jump on it right now?
For sure, if the Saints drop by a hook, I would immediately jump on that.
I'm saying a movement that you would jump to the other side.
Oh, to the other side?
Yeah. I feel before, if Jacksonville jumps up to 10, that's too many points for an average team to give up. I like Jacksonville to win big, but if they move up to 10, I might take Buffalo with double digits in that spot. Or see if I can get them now at 8 and see if they go up to 10, see if I can get a middle.
I would say if the Rams went to 7.5 or better, I'd probably not touch that game.
Yeah.
Touchdown and a hook makes a big difference to me.
That's fair enough. Let's see what the money lines are in these games, because that's where I really think is the interesting. Jacksonville with 420. I mean, could you imagine? I'm curious. I want to get a parlay calculator on here to see what the look. I want to take all 4 wild card dogs.
All the dogs?
Yeah, let's see. $100 parlay at those 4 odds would pay you $21,000 if the dogs went 4-0.
Yeah, William Hill would be 24,393.60.
Nice. You're getting better odds at that point.
Yeah. It's a 3,000 difference.
Yeah, but still, I mean, the fact that, you could. I can't see any of these dogs winning outright. That's what scares me about the craziness of wild card weekend. And here I am really realistically laying all 4 favorites.
I mean, me and you both like Tennessee.
Well, no, I like Tennessee, but I'm saying to win the game.
No, I
mean, last year they all went 4-0, but you got 2 teams making their quarterbacks are making their first playoff start, and they're making their first playoff start in over a decade.
Yeah,
both in the LA and Jacksonville. It's a tough weekend, but that's why the NFL is what it is. So. Let's rock it. I'm gonna roll with my teaser and then maybe find some in-game action to play. So keep track of the Twitter. I'll throw some bets out there on Saturday and Sunday. Did we talk about the Patriots? We discussed it a little bit. I mean, is this really?
We discussed it a little. I think people are overhyping it and it's just being a media source.
Where do you see this story in 6 months? I guess
6 months. I think it'll be kind of thrown off to the side. I think people will still bring it up and it still might have a little effect, but
I mean, after 18 years, it's just like any, it's surprising when these groups that stay, the music groups that stay, together for so long, they're not without conflict. And I'm sure there's been a lot of conflict in 18 years behind closed doors, and this is probably one of the only ones. This guru guy that Brady's with, who also, takes care of other players. I don't want to say it's a non-issue because, I mean, if the media decides they need to run with it, the media generally gets it. They do their homework. They sensationalize and concoct stories, but a lot of time those local guys, they get it right. I don't want to believe that Bill Belichick, was so hard on for keeping Garoppolo that when Kraft told him we're going with Brady, that he just shipped off Garoppolo for
nothing,
pennies, basically.
Yeah.
I'm still on the bandwagon at this point that I want Baker Mayfield, so I'm okay with Garoppolo leaving because, let's just face it, if Tom Brady plays like this for 3 more years, Garoppolo's not going to wait around to play to start in his 8th year in the league.
Yeah. Either you franchise tag him and you spend a whole crap ton of money to keep him around.
I mean, that's the thing. So, okay, you franchise tag him. Now you've got your backup quarterback on the hook for $23 million. That's unprecedented. I mean, might even be more than that. What's Kirk Cousins making? 28?
I want to say it's like 28, 29.
Yeah, whatever it is. I mean, the fact of the matter is your backup quarterback does not make $20+ million.
No.
So, you look at this situation now and you see it and you say, okay, this guy is in his 4th year. You sign him to a 3. You sign him to an extension for 4 more years. Brady plays 3 more. Now you've got him on his final year of his contract in his 7th or 8th year before he's starting his first actual complete season.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense. So I mean, to get the 2nd round pick, I really hope they use that 2nd round pick on Mayfield if he's there.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be kind of a steal in the 2nd round at that spot.
Yeah. So at this point, at this time of the year, it's a non-issue, and Belichick will make sure the team's focused. Thankfully, they don't play this week, so we don't have to hear if they somehow got beat. Oh, see, they're distracted by all this. That's what scares me. They're not the prohibitive. They are the prohibitive favorite, but they're not so far and above the rest of the league like the rest of the people think they are.
Yeah.
So my problem with this is if they happen to go down, which is realistic, they could lose to Pittsburgh, they could lose to Jacksonville, they could lose to Kansas City. If they happen to go down in the divisional round, it doesn't necessarily mean it's because of the distractions. And that's what's afraid. Oh, look, yeah, they're distracted. All this shit's been going on off the field.
But people use that as...
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think that's the case. Like, dude, they play the game. They got beat. They're not the 2007 Patriots. They're this year. They've muddled through a season. I mean, granted, they're 13-3, which any other team at 13-3, look, we're talking the Vikings. We're talking about Case Keenum for MVP and comeback player of the year, and we're talking about the Rams, who are, I believe, they're 12-4, and we're talking, Jared Goff, most improved player, Todd Gurley, MVP. I mean, here we are talking about the 13-3 Patriots. Like, what's wrong with them? I mean, that's when you achieve that level of excellence, 13-3, and now you're saying, oh, well, is this the beginning of the end? Are we fucking kidding? I mean, come on. I hope Brady plays for another decade, just to shut these fuckers up. He could.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, Warren Moon played till he's 45. And then, it might not have been 45, but Warren Moon played for a long time. And I believe Tom Brady's in a lot better shape than Warren Moon.
Oh, absolutely.
So, anyways, that would be an interesting situation, in my opinion, if that didn't make sense. So that would be, I'm hoping this idiocracy can die down. If that's even a word, I don't know, idiocracy.
Warren Moon played until he was 44.
44, okay, so split the difference. So, I mean, just the idiot nature of trying to concoct a story. I believe there's a story there, but what they're trying to make it out to be that there's this rift. I mean, Brady, Belichick, and Kraft got one thing on the brain, and that's number 6.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I don't know, we'll see.
But one game against a time. I mean, shit. When they were going into Week 17.
But that's the question. Okay, so they win the divisional game because they're supposed to. They probably play, I don't know, Kansas City or they're going to play Kansas City or Kansas City or Buffalo. That's what's going to happen. So, so they win that game, and then they get to the AFC against the Steelers, and they win that game, but it's closer. They struggled a little bit, and then they get to the Super Bowl, and we're still talking what's wrong with the Patriots. It's like, why are you guys creating?
They're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're in the freaking Super Bowl, and we're talking about what's going to happen 3 years down the road. Yes, eventually, that's my problem. Like I said, guys like Shaughnessy, who are just fucking raging douchebags, are going to hold on to this story, and then when Brady finally does complete that deterioration that we all go through, no matter how good he keeps his body, they're going to finally be, yep, here it is. They shouldn't have got rid of Garoppolo. Yep. Garoppolo's here he is in week 9 or in year 9 of his career, tearing it up. I'm like, yeah, but Garoppolo wouldn't have stayed here for 8 fucking years in New England.
Arm and a leg as backup to keep him around.
The Aaron Rodgers thing is one scenario. Like Aaron Rodgers stayed for 3 years, groomed himself. They finally forced Brett Favre out. Yeah. But Brett Favre wasn't taking him to the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah, they were winning the division still at the time, but they were struggling to keep that kind of pace.
Right. They were competitive, but they weren't far and away. They weren't the Super Bowl favorites every year. They weren't. I wouldn't say they're far and away the best team, but the Patriots right now are the best complete team, in my opinion.
Without a doubt, yeah.
So as long as you have that, I mean, if you're Belichick, I mean, Belichick's got a key for life. I can't imagine any scenario where he's going to get fired where he doesn't realize it's probably time to go anyway.
Yeah.
But they keep talking about this. Who's going to go first, Belichick or Brady? Belichick or Brady? In my mind, they're going together. I mean, there's all this talk now, like Colin Cowherd, or was it Colin Cowherd or Skip Bayless? They're like,
I want to say it's Colin.
75% chance that Bill Belichick's not in New England next year. No fucking way.
That actually might have been Skip.
Whatever. The point being is whatever talking moron said that, which we're talking morons too, don't get me wrong. Whichever one of them said that, I mean, 75%, there is less than 1%. There's less than 1/10% chance that Belichick goes anywhere.
Or Brady.
Or Brady. The only way that would happen is if somehow Bob Kraft left his laptop open and, like...
something leaked out or something.
No, and Belichick goes in there and goes, release. I thought that... how do I do my Belichick voice? Oh, sorry, Bob. I thought that was your fantasy team. My bad. I just wanted to get... you didn't look like you had a very good fantasy team. I just clicked release. I thought you could get some better players in there. So, we're on to preseason.
Yeah,
my bad.
We played the Jets.
We played the Jets, and we're not worried about Pittsburgh. We play the Jets this week, and anything else? Anything else? You have to check my snap face. How was that? Was that any good?
That was pretty damn good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been working on that for a while.
Now I got to do more like Elvis.
Now I got to do. Now I got to do Belichick with a Boston accent. Like we got to get Spike in here to be like Belichick. Wicked smart, yeah, wicked smart. We're a wicked smart team. Don't lose Patricia and McDaniels. Well, otherwise we will be less wicked smart.
Any NFL punters strike your mind this week?
No, I stopped watching NFL punters after McAfee retired. So
after he got drug tested.
I don't think I can name a punter in this league. I'm honestly trying to think off the top of my head. I don't even know who the Patriots punter is. I watch them every week. I can't name a punter. I literally can't name a punter. Is Matt Turk still in the league? He can't be in the league. I can name kickers, but I can't name a punter. We probably got to get the guys from Winning and Boozing back on and have them name us some NFL punters. Wait, don't tell me. I know him, the black guy. Marquette King. That's the only one I know.
That is one?
That is a punter. I got one. All right, hold on.
For the Raiders.
Hold on. All right. Let's see. I can think. Is Jeff Fiegel still a punter?
Fiegel?
Jeff Fiegels. He kicked for the Giants. Is he still the Giants? Oh, no, Brad Wing. Brad Wing is the Giants punter. Did I get that one?
Correct.
Yes. All right. So I got two. All right.
Sam Martin for the Lions.
Whoa. Hold on. I think I can get a third one. I'm on a roll here. I'm like butter.
Oh, I think you can get a third one.
All right. Hold on. Third punter in the league. This is bad. I mean, not that bad. I don't feel too awful going to sleep at night knowing that I only know two punters in the league. All right, so let's see.
Well, I know you can at least name 5 kickers, so.
I can name 5 kickers. You got Prater, you got Steven Gostkowski, you got Connor Barth, you got Blair Walsh, you got Sebastian Janikowski. There's 5 right there. And Harrison Butt Kicker.
And Tucker.
Justin Tucker, yeah. I always get Prater every year in fantasy. Yeah. He's the fucking nuts. Because everybody takes Tucker way too high in like the 7th round. Like, 7th round, I should be
number 1 pick.
I should be taking a second or third running back. Yeah, Jamie, give me Justin Tucker, all right? Give me Justin. I think it's a good pick here, guys. I'm going to go Justin Tucker to back up my 6th round pick of Houston's defense. Yeah, all right, guys. And my 3rd round pick, Richard Rodgers, he's going to pan out. He's the Packers tight end, not that Rodgers. The other black Rodgers. You guys just wait a second.
He can run.
All right, third punter. Holy crap. What are we doing? This is riveting podcast talk. I can't think of a third motherfucking punter. Hey, hit us up on Vegas Squares if you're listening to this podcast. I need a third punter. I got Marquette King and I got Brad Wing. And the only reason I know those is because they rhyme at this point. I don't know. He said Sam Martin, but he cheated. So I don't have a third freaking... This is driving me nuts. Who's the punter? I know. Johnny Hecker for the Rams. Johnny Hecker, Hekker. Yes, I got a third one.
You got that one right.
All right, that's way too much punter talk than I have ever wanted to hear in my life, and that came out of my mouth. So I am going to wrap it up at that point right there with all the punting and kicking talk. All right, so we've had a jam-packed show at this point, Anthony. Are you? I mean, obviously you're excited for Wild Card Weekend. I'm excited. We got the TV set up in the man cave. Everything's going to be good. I think I'm going to get some Buffalo Brad wings.
Nice. Always a good choice.
Yeah.
Are you going Naked City?
Naked City's probably. If you're ever out in Vegas, Naked City, in my opinion, is the best wings in Vegas.
I would have to agree. Better than Wingstop. Better than B-Dubs. Better than
Wingstop to me is too bready. Like Naked City. They're not the biggest wings, but they're like meaty, and you don't have to deal with all that bread. Like I feel like when I bite into a wing, I get all that.
They got good
bread.
flavor too, and
Yeah, I like the chicken. You know, even if it's a smaller wing, I'd rather get more chicken than a big just a knob of bread.
yeah,
Breading, whatever.
Yeah.
So, well, enjoy Wild Card Weekend. We hope we can make you some money, and we'll see what happens. We'll come back Monday. We'll talk about the games, and we'll preview the next set of playoff games, and I think we're going to have the college football consolation game that day as well. So,
yeah. Just a reminder: don't rip your tickets till the game's over.
yes, I learned that in Super Bowl 51, Falcons Patriots, but it still rings true today. Where have you ever had a situation where you've done that?
No, I have not, but I've seen it a couple times.
Actual tearing of the ticket. Yeah, I tore up the page.
Two different games, yeah.
I tore up the page. Thankfully, I just tore it once.
Uh-huh.
And I had Patson over, which seemed destined to be failing at 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
It was still good.
It was. It didn't go through the reader immediately the first time, but the second time it kind of read it, and they saw that it was legit. And obviously, given the circumstances, they felt for me.
I'm not sure if I remember telling you this. I remember I almost put 1,000 on Atlanta that day, but I felt coffee was more important.
You felt coffee was more important? What do you mean? What do you mean? Tell us.
I was at work, and I'm like, should I put 1,000 on Atlanta? I am not. I told my buddy at halftime, I'm like, Patriots are still not out of this game.
You know, that was funny. We had a Super Bowl party at our house, and a couple people said that to me too, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. And by the third quarter, I actually won 2 Super Bowl squares at the party, so I was feeling good, even though they were looking bad. And I don't know,
Then the tables turned.
I know, it was just like boom. It was like, okay, now we're 28-9. Okay, it's 28-16. Holy cow, here we go. It's 28-21 or 28-22. Oh, they missed the 2-point. That's all right. Holy shit, they fucking. It was crazy, dude. It was just nuts, insane. And I was pretty intoxicated at that point, so it just amplified everything else at that point. So, anyways, we appreciate you listening. We, like we said, you can catch us now on our new platform. It's 12 Ounce Sports Radio. If you haven't heard of them, you can check them out on Twitter at their Twitter handle. Hold on, let me pull it up. It's 12 Ounce Sports, just 12OZ Sports. So we're all going to be on that show. Our podcast is going to be run every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time and every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you don't catch us on 12 Ounce Sports, you can obviously catch the latest podcast on the website. Also, you can catch us on Twitter at Vegas Squares, Facebook.com/Vegas Squares. We have an Instagram, but I never fucking update it.
Yeah.
But it's Vegas Squares Podcast.
Email us, tweet us.
Yeah, just get a hold of us on social media. We love to talk. We love to banter. And if you'd like to be a part of the show, ever want to come on and talk with us on the phone and be a part of the show, we'd love to obviously have fan interaction. You can always call the show. Just email us to set up a time if you'd love to come on. I still got to get Nick on from all that Bama talk. I'd love to see Bama lose and see what happens in that spot.
Me too. I unfortunately think they're going to win, though.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yep.
And if you're in the Orlando area, don't forget to go to Disney World and go to that national championship parade for the UCF Knights.
The UCF Knights, national champions.
They are not Golden Knights. People, they have not been the Golden Knights since 2007. I can't stress this enough. ESPN, you're the fucking worst culprit. So, anyways, we appreciate you listening. You guys take care. Have a wonderful and safe wild card weekend, and we'll catch you on the other side.